Okay, let's start this session. Okay. So hope everyone might have tried the to do program yesterday given by us, right? So you people might have tried, I guess. So if anyone hardly find time to work on that, please try that. Because at the end of the day you might be learning a lot of things. You might be familiar with how to declare a variable, how to do something, print something in the screen using system.debug. So you people might have familiar with that, but in which area you will be struggling at the end of the day when you look at it, implementation. So that's the key area as a developer. Knowing all these syntaxes and that doesn't help you at all. So you should have the bunch of logics, and you should know how to implement the requirement. That really matters. So how you can be well versed in implementing the requirement, implementing the logic is in the sense practice that really matters. So whatever the simple programs being given in the classroom, please try to find at least 5 to 10 minutes in a day and try to do that. If you find any difficulties, you can reach out to me or Ashok, whoever is available. Okay. So that's a way to become a good programmer. So don't stop trying the programs. Just knowing the syntax will not help you at all. So let me, more people coming in. Let me let them in.
Sir, can you also provide us which trailheads are linked to what you are explaining, and this way we can exercise, or we can do more exercises?
Yeah, definitely. What I am, teaching you in the classroom, currently is, very, 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 very basic things. Okay.
Yeah.
So in Trailhead, you will have little bit, more content than what I am delivering now. So your point will come, in the session. At that point of time, I will share you the Trailheads. Okay. So let's go for, a couple of days. And once all the basics are in place, all the building blocks are in place, we will start sharing the Trailhead models. Okay. I think that will look good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine. In today's session, we are going to do, the continuation of data types what we have, saw yesterday. Okay. Yesterday we saw in a couple of integers, how to declare an integer, how to print those things, and those things we had seen yesterday. Today we are going to continue with that. Okay. So I'm going to explain everything today in the anonymous window itself. So first, I'm going to start with Boolean. Okay. So there is a data type called Boolean. Boolean in the sense this data type can store two values. One is either true or it can store a value of false. Okay. Let's say
we're not seeing your screen. Are you sharing?
One second.
Thanks.
Screen. Yeah. Thanks for remembering that. Thanks for remembering. Yeah. Now you're able to see my screen.
Yes. Yeah. Please.
Yeah. Okay. So Boolean is a data type which can contain two values, either true or false. In real time in Salesforce, let's say there is a checkbox in your page layout. The checkbox generally it will be stored in the form of a Boolean data type. It may be a true or it may be a false. Let's say if the checkbox is gets selected, it will be stored the value of true. If the checkbox is not selected, it will store the value of false. Okay. So how to declare a Boolean variable? As usual, first you have to specify the data type. The data type is Boolean and variable name. Let's say it is verified. I'm going to check whether it is verified or not. So for that, I'm using is verified. Is verified is, simply a variable name. You can give it like this also. A is equal to true. Okay. But as a good practice, you have to follow the naming convention. Okay. I need to check whether it is verified or not. For that, I'm declaring a variable called is verified. Okay. So here, nothing fancy. It's a naming convention is verified. So in the naming conventions generally, if it contains of two words in the sense, first word, it will start with small, and after that every consecutive words first letter will be starts with caps. So that's what the naming convention. Okay. So as days goes on, you will find that. Okay. Now I'm going to just display the thing in the screen. So you will be doing with system.debug. So let me do system.debug. I'm going to just print is verified. Let's see how it looks like. Is verified. Execute. Variable does not exist. System, maybe spelling mistake. Yes. System. Yes. Now execute. Let's see what will be the output. It will be true. Okay. Fine. So this is how you can declare a variable in Boolean data type, or you can go for false also. These two values you can accommodate inside this Boolean variable. Okay, fine. Any doubt in that? So let's move on to the next data type. So the next data type which I'm going to teach you is a date and time. We are going to see date and time. There are two variables called, two data types called date and time. The difference, you can able to see the difference from the name itself. Date, in the sense, you can able to store only the date value. You cannot store the time value. Date and time, in the sense, you can able to store a date as well as time. Let me declare a variable, date. Okay, I wanted to display today's date in the screen. So how to find today's date? Okay, to store the today's date, first I'm going to declare a variable called current date. Okay, let's take it as a current date. There is a built-in class called date. Okay, to find today's date, there is a built-in class called date. You can make use of it. Okay, you see, this is the date is a data type. We are telling that this is a data type, right? These data types will have its own built-in functionalities. These data types will have its own built-in functionalities. Okay, so the primitive data types will have its own functionalities. We will technically we will call it as a class with its own methods, but we will see that in the next classes what is mean by class, what is mean by method. Currently you consider a date is a data type. It contains its own functionalities in the sense its own methods. Okay, let's say I wanted to find out today's date. So what you will do, there is a built-in function called today. This is what IntelliSense editor, when you start typing it, automatically you can able to see the entire syntax. Okay, so today is a function, so I'm going to give open bracket, close bracket. Let's print current date and let's see what the output is. So I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste it. Instead of is verified, please mute yourself. Okay, instead of is verified, I'm going to replace it with current date. So I'm going to highlight these two lines. I'm going for execute highlighted. I don't want to see the previous output. Okay, so just going for execute highlighted. Let's see what the output is. Okay, you are getting the output as 10/5/2021. Okay, so this is what the default format which will be stored in Salesforce. So Salesforce will store the date in the year, month, and date format. Okay, so this is, since it is a date data type, the time part will be coming as 000. Okay, so you can check it out. Here we are having a date variable. So date, in the sense, by default Salesforce will return you a date and time. Since you are using a date variable, it will contain only the date part. For the time part, you will be having the output as 000. Okay, so this is how you can able to get the current date. There may be a lot of questions may rise in your mind. Okay, this is in in the format year, month, and date. I want my format. We will do that. Okay, how to format the date and time, we will see. Okay, still people are coming in. Okay, fine. So this is how you can print the current date. Let's say I have my own date values. Let's say I wanted to convert these values 2020. Okay, and month is 5 and date is 22. So this is what I'm getting from the user. Okay, user is giving these values from your pick list or from an input box, something like that. Okay, giving from the UA, user is giving these values. Now I want to convert these values into date and time. Okay, so if you are having a set of values in for year, month, and date, in the sense how you can able to convert these into a date format, that's what we are going to see now. So for that, this is a date. So I'm going to declare a date variable, a date. I'm going to use that current date. Okay, current date 1. Let's give it a I'm giving like this custom current date. Okay, so I'm having the values as a separate values. Now I have to convert, you know, date. So date, this is a built-in, as I told, date is a built-in class. It's a data type. It has its own functionalities. A lot of functionalities are there. Now I'm going for new instance. Okay, so new instance is a method which had written by Salesforce. There is no need for you to look into it. Okay, so only thing you have to concentrate is what this new instance will do, what it does. It will convert year, month, day into a date format. Okay, so what is the year? We have 2020 as an year. So in this area, I'm going to replace 2020. Okay, what is the month? Month is 5. So I'm going to give month as 5. What is the day? It is 22. It is 22. Now let's system.debug this, custom current date and see what the output is. Okay, so let me give custom current date. Let me highlight these things and execute highlight, and let's see whether it is converting into date and time date format. Let's see. I'm going for debug only. You see here, you can able to see that, the printed value is 2020 is the year, 5 is the month, 22 is the date. Okay, so let me make people in. Okay, fine. So this is how you can convert, the values into date. The first part what we had seen is how to get the current date, and the second part is how to convert the user input values into a date format. Okay, so these are the basic things how to deal with the dates, and a lot of functionalities are being available with the dates. Sometimes there may be requirement that you need to find out the date difference between two values, and you need to find out number of hours elapsed between 2 days, number of days elapsed between 2 days, number of month elapsed between 2 days. So a lot of functionalities, lot of requirements in real time, will be revolving around these date functionalities. Okay, so as days goes on, we will see more functionalities on date. So it will be very helpful in real time implementation when it's related with dates. Anyone has any doubts? Quick question on this date part. Otherwise I will move on to time, date and time. Okay, I will take it as you people are clear with this. Okay, so after the session you can try this in your, yeah, please, Dinesh.
Here, okay. So it is the same format like DDMMYYYY format, right?
No, it will print as year, month and date. If you want DDMMOY, you have to format that. Okay,
Okay.
so you cannot format a date, but
Means,
you can format a date time. So that I will explain you next.
no, my question is which it is 2020 May in the sense 05, right? So instead of 05,
Yes,
get it as MON. So in that case,
yeah, we have to format. I will explain you next.
okay,
Okay, how to format.
thanks.
Okay, fine. This is how you can deal with the date. So next part is I'm going to explain a date and time, how to store a date and time, how to find current date and time, how you can able to find that. So for that, there is a separate data type called a date and time. Okay, so let me copy this, or let me do like this. Okay, there is a data type called date time. Okay, so the difference between a date and date time data type is date will contain only the dates. A date and time data type will contain both the date and time formats. Okay, so I want to find out current date and time. So let me go for it. Current date and time. Someone is joining. Let me. Okay, current date and time. So current date and time is equal to, I need to find out current date and time. For that, you have a built-in class called date time. Okay, to identify the date, you have a built-in class called date. To identify the date and time, you have a built-in class called date time. That is the data type. Okay, so all the data types will have, primitive data types will have its own classes. Okay, so we will see in deeper in the upcoming classes what is class, what is methods. So I don't want to elaborate that point here. Okay, so date and time, date time dot, I want to find out current date and time. For that you can go for a function called now. You can go for a function called now. Now let me print this value. Now I'm going to print this value. Okay, that is current date and time. I'm going to print current date time. Let's execute this and see what the outcome is. Let's go for execute highlighted. Before that, close the previous one, close the previous anonymous window. I'm going for execute highlighted. So go for debug only. See here, you are getting the date. That's fine. And behind that, you could able to see 01, 49, 23. So that is what your server time. Don't get confused with that time with your system time. Okay, your laptop or your desktop or your your device may show some different time format, but this particular data and time will be fetched from your Salesforce server. In the Salesforce server, which time zone you have set. Okay, so based on that, you will be getting that output. You will not get your desktop or laptop date and time now. Okay, so don't get confused with that. So it is not matching. So don't get confused in that way. Again, repeating, this will get the your configured server's date and time based on the time zone you set there. Okay, so this is how you can able to get the time of your Salesforce server. Okay, that's what you are getting it. Okay, now the
Sir, quick
next
question.
yeah, please.
So this time zone is based on the user, right? You have the time zone in use
Yes.
time zone field in user object. That
Yes.
field you're telling, correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay. Thank you.
So if you want to change the time zone, in the sense, you will be changing in there in the configuration. Okay. Okay, fine. So now, as Dinesh asked, how to convert it into a proper format. I want the DDMMYY, how I can able to format this. So let me print, let me copy it and paste it. Okay, current date and time. I'm going to format it. Okay, I'm going to format. For that, there is a function called format. I'm going to format. What is my required format? My required format is, it should be date, it should be month, it should be year. Okay, now I am formatting it. Okay, now let's select these things and execute highlighted. Let's see whether it is formatting or not. Go for debug only, and let's see the anonymous window and both the outputs. Now check it out. Line number 15, you are going to print the date and time. So finally the outcome in the debug log is line number 2. It says that year, month and date as well as time. And the next one is I am formatting it. Okay, I'm formatting to my custom format DDMMYY. At that point of time, see, it's 10/05/2021. So in that way, you can able to customize the date time to your requirement.
Sir,
Okay,
it should be 11/5/2021, right, sir? Why 10/5?
That's what I told. Your system time may be showing 11. Okay, but your Salesforce server configuration might be in a different time zone.
But in the previous code, why it's not show? It should show 05/10, right? You see the
In which
difference?
code?
So in the line number 1, it's 2021 05/11. In line number 2, it's 10/05/2021.
Okay. Here you are telling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me try. This is small m
Actually,
also.
line number 9 also showed the same time, whatever showing in the 17. But when you
Okay.
go for a current date and time, it's showing the exactly.
Yeah, let me check it out. I think format MM will not make any difference, I guess. That is the case, it needs to be searched. Okay. Okay, fine. Let's go on from the first. It is today. Today it's 10/5. Okay, fine. And then you're going for, this is converting, leave it. And again, when you go for date and time, it is showing that, right? Okay, fine. 11.5.
Minutes.
Yeah, small in the sense it's a minute, so that will not make a difference. When you go for now, it shows the exact thing, right? Yeah, when you go for date time dot now, you are getting, yeah. Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Nagarajan. The line number 17, it prints 10/53.
Yes. Yeah, because I changed into small m, right? So that's why minutes is taking it up. Okay. So now we changed it. Now you can able to see. Now the confusion here is, when you go for current date and time, it is showing, 11/5/2021. When you go for formatting, it is 10/5, right? So probably it may be, with the, here we are taking up the, hours, minutes, and seconds, right? There may be some kind of roundup may happen. It may be a floor roundup may happen. Let me confirm that, and we'll explain you. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can you not change
Hello?
date and time dot today
Date and time.
in line 15?
Okay.
It says current date and time is equal to date time dot now.
Okay. Yes.
Instead of now, can we type today and see whether it's showing the perfect date or not?
Yeah, that's we had, already we tried here, right? 8 and 9, it's already there. So
But
let's
here,
execute.
there we did it on date, but this is a date and time.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm telling. Based on the time, there may be some roundup may happen. Okay. See here, for date, if you go for date also, you are getting 10/5. Okay. So when you are going to round up the date and time, based on the time, there may be some floor kind of roundup may happen. So based on that, it might be printing. Okay. So it's always, if you want to get the date, in the sense, it's better go with date. If you want to date and time, it's better to go with date and time. Okay. So if you want to format in the proper way, you can go for a more roundup, in a proper way of roundup format, you can go.
Actually, he's asking in date time class, can we use today functionality?
And date and time, let me check it out.
Now replace to today.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out whether we have today functionality here. I don't think. Let me check it out.
Yeah, just dot today and
Let's check it out today. I don't think we have this function here.
execute highlighted, sir.
See there is no built-in function called today with the datetime class. With datetime, you have only the function called now. Okay, it will return date and time only. Okay, so let me check that why it is getting round up, and let me confirm that. To my understanding, why it is getting round up is because of the date and time. Okay, because of the time, it may be round up. From the date and time, you are converting into date. Okay, so it may be past 12 or not, that may be get considered.
Since I guess since our user details are using US time,
Yes.
that's the reason it's showing 10 still.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I told. It's based on the user time zone. You will get that. Okay, anyhow, it will not get the local your system time. It will not get. Okay, it is based on your server time zone. It will get the time.
I guess the format which we have given in capital MM, instead of that, if we give MON, maybe.
Yeah, that is the 3-digit format. Okay, so that will not play any role with your date. Okay?
Whether it comes in digit or like April in the sense APR, Jan in the sense JF, in that way.
Yes, you can go for that. If you go for 3 digits, in the sense, it will be in the characters format. Okay. So a lot of formats are available. You can try. You can search Google for different kinds of date and time formats. Okay. So just I wanted to explain you how you can able to format a date.
Hello?
To you. Yes. Okay. Don't get confused with this. Okay. I don't want to mess it up
Hello?
here. Yes, Ashok. Hello. Okay, I don't want to mess it up here. Okay, actually simply to get the current date, you will be going for date dot today. Okay, here you will not get any time value. Okay, so those who want to research on this, you can research. Okay, we will keep it as a separate part. Okay, the researching thing, we will keep it as a separate part. Okay, to convert the date from your custom values, you can go for a date dot new instance. Okay, and to get the date and time, you can go for datetime dot now. So datetime dot now, you are customizing again, you are formatting again to a date, in the sense automatically obviously your time part will be considered. So based on the time, your date will be rounded up. Okay, so that's what I'm coming to say.
Sir, can I ask you a quick question, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, for me, I don't understand datetime dot now and go up. What is that, sir? Is that an operation?
Make it very simple. Date is a class. Okay,
Okay, sir.
it's a data type. Whatever the data types you have, let's say you have the data types as integer, right? Integer, you have a data type as string. In Salesforce, all the primitive data types will have its own built-in functionalities, own built-in class. Integer, in the sense, you will be having a class called integer. In the integer, you will be having some set of built-in functionalities. In the same way, date is a data type. Even though date is a data type, it has its own built-in functionalities. Using those methods, you can able to get the system date or current time, you can able to get it. These all are the built-in functionalities returned by Salesforce itself.
Okay, sir. So date, I understand. What is the dot new instant? Even that also the cell.
Yeah, actually, that's what but there is a class and method functionality is there. I haven't touched the class concept. Okay, so
sorry.
in future classes, we will be touching the classes. At that point of time, you will understand what is mean by the date, what is mean by dot, and these dot notations, and this is the method calling. Okay, you will call it as a method. This method will be a static because you are using the class name to call that method. Okay, so a lot of object oriented related concepts involved it, so that's why I'm not going deep into it. Okay, so as of now, you can take it up as a date is a data type which is used to store current date. Date and time, you can use to store a date and time. How to get the current date? There is a built-in method to get the current date, that is called today. If you use today, you can able to get the current date. Why is that today is resides? The today is returned by Salesforce, and it is kept inside the class called date. Okay, so there is a class called date. Inside the date class, Salesforce has returned the today functionalities. To access that, you have to use dot. So date dot today. The same way here also, date dot new instance. Okay, so here let's say go for Boolean, in the sense it's a straightforward one. You will be declaring a variable Boolean, you will be storing true or false. Integer, you will be straight away declaring a variable, storing the value. For a date and time, it is revolving with, it involves class and method functionalities. Since we haven't touched the class and method functionalities, for the beginners it may be confusing what is dot, what is the things. In the upcoming classes, we will be seeing what is mean by class, what is mean by method, what is mean by dot notation, how you can able to access this. When covering those things, it will be easy for you. The purpose of taking this at this point of time, at this junction, is just to understand there is a data type called the date and time exist, and how to identify today's date and today's time. We will do more researches on the dot notation and the round notation and those things. We will do it in the upcoming classes, no issue with that. Okay, don't afraid of that. Those who are already familiar with class and method formats, they might have understand. Others just understand what it is. That's it. Okay, how it works and those things, when we go for classes, I will connect to this particular functionality at that point of time, how the built-in things are work. Okay, let's go for operators now. We have yesterday we might have seen a lot of operators, plus, minus, multiplication. And interesting part is with the division. We have an operator called a division. Let's say there is two variables, so I'm going to declare a variable x is equal to 5, and one more variable x is equal to 2. Okay, I'm going for system.debug. I'm going to divide these two things. So let's say y is equal to 2. I'm going for system.debug x divided by y. Okay, ultimately it is 5 divided by 2. Let's select this, run, and let's say what the output is, whether we are getting 2.5 or 2. Let's see what might be the output.
2.
Yeah. Yes. So you are getting 2 as an output. Why you are not getting 2.5? Because both the values are integers. So when we are going to divide an integer by another integer, you will not get the fraction values. You will not get the decimal values. You will get only the the whole numbers. So that's why you are getting 2 as an answer. So a little bit tricky thing. Let's say instead of integer, you can go for a decimal here. Okay. So decimal in the sense you can store point values. So that is called a decimal. Fraction values you can able to store it. Okay. I'm converting 2 as a decimal. Now I am going to run the same program. Let me select it and execute highlighter. Let me go for it. Let's see what the output is. Now you are getting 2.5 as an answer. So when you go for the division operator, the only thing you have to keep it in mind is if any one of the variable is in decimal format, the output you will get will be in a decimal format. But if you are going to store the output into an integer, automatically you will get the whole numbers only. Okay. So ultimate point is if an integer is divided by a decimal, you will get a decimal as an output. You will not get integer. Okay. But if you are trying like this, let's say integer z is equal to x divided by 2. Now what will happen when you divide these two things, you will get 2.5 as an answer, but you are storing those value into an integer variable, so automatically 2 will be stored into there. Okay, any doubt here? So that's what you have to, simple thing you have to keep it in mind in case of division operator. So now let's go for in a assignment operator. So you might be pretty much aware that equal to. So what is the purpose of equal to? Equal to is called assignment operator. What is the purpose of equal to? Equal to is used to assign some value. Okay. So the right hand side value will be assigned to the left hand side part. Okay. Let's say x is equal to 5 in the sense in the right hand side you have a 5. 5 will be stored into x. So that is what assignment operator. Okay. So here one more interesting part is, let me declare a variable arithmetic assign. I'm going to do an operation called arithmetic and assign. So let me do like this: integer x is equal to 10. Integer x is equal to 10. Let me do like this: x plus equal to 5. Okay. Now I'm going for system.debug. Okay. System.debug. I'm going for x. Let me select all these lines and go for execute highlighter. See what is the output you are getting? You are getting the output as 15. So assignment we know that, but here what I executed is arithmetic assignment. Ultimately, the meaning is, let's say if you are going to write like this, x is equal to x plus 5. What will happen? 10 plus 5, 15. 15 will be stored into x. So that's what you are getting as an output. So instead of writing like this in shorthand, you can go for x plus equal to 5. So assignment operator can be used to assign a value, but it can be added with the additional arithmetic operators also. Let's say plus, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, with these operators it can be added up. If that is the case, you can consider it as a two functionalities. One is arithmetic operation and the second one is assignment operation. So x plus is equal to 5 is ultimately it is equivalent to x is equal to x plus 5. So initially arithmetic operation will happen and after that the value will be assigned with that. So wherever you are writing a code like this, x is equal to x plus 5, okay, you can go for x plus equal to 5. So that is what arithmetic assign. The same functionality you can use for multiplication also. Multiplication, division you can try. Okay, division equal to you can try. Okay, with all arithmetic operations you can able to combine this assignment operator. So assignment generally you can use like this. It's a simple assignment. Here it is going for arithmetic assignment. Any doubts here? So
Sir,
if anyone,
equal to y equal to 2. Y equal to 2 is integer, right?
y equal to
2 in previous
okay.
24.
You're talking about line number 24.
24.
Yeah. Yes.
In 5 is integer, then 2 is also integer, right?
2 is an integer, but where you are storing it into a decimal variable, right? So obviously it will store as 2.0.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Let's move on. So so far we had seen assignment operator, that is, equal to, you can,
Nagaraj,
yeah, please.
sorry, I have a
Yes,
small
Mala.
doubt. If it's a decimal and integer, this one
Mhm.
we know it's a small number, so we can estimate that this will come in the decimal answer. If it's a
Okay.
big number, whether if doesn't, I mean, we don't know whether it's a decimal or integer, how can we give that?
It is based on your requirement. Let's say here I am not going for 5 or 2. Okay, so it is an integer, it is a decimal. I want my output as a decimal, in the sense, you can store it into a decimal variable. You want your
Okay.
output as an integer, in the sense you can store the result into an integer variable.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Furthermore, you have, couple of round up options there in math. You will be having, floor, you will be having seal kind of functionalities. As the days goes on, we will see that. Okay, how you can able to round up to the nearest lowest value or nearest highest value. You can
Okay.
round in that way also. Okay, so at that point of time, math classes will helpful. Again, if I'm going to explain the math class, in the sense, again I go for math dot. Okay, so if I'm going to explain something class name dot, in the sense, you should know what is mean by class, what is mean by function. Okay, so otherwise people may get confused, for beginners.
Okay.
So that's why
Okay.
I am not touching that part. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
thanks. So this is arithmetic assign. Next I am going is, not equal to. How you will compare two values. Okay, another interesting part. How you will compare two values. Integer x is equal to 5. I'm going to declare one more variable, integer y is equal to 10. Now I'm going to compare these two values. Okay, simply I'm going to use system.debug. I'm going to simply debug system.debug. I'm going to give x double equal to y. So when you want to compare two values, two numeric values, you will be going for double equal to. Okay, so let me select these two things, and before that, let me close couple of previous anonymous outputs logs, so to make the window clean. Fine, let's go for execute highlighter. Let me go for debug only. Yeah, whether these two values are true, no, x is not equal to 10, so you are getting output as false. So when you want to compare two values, you will be going for equal to operator. So equal to, in the sense, you will be specifying double equal to. The same thing, if you want to compare whether these two values are not equal, in the sense, you will be going for not equal. Okay, x not equal to y. Now let me select these three lines and go for execute highlighted. I am checking x is not equal to y. I am checking whether x and y are, both are not equal. Both are not equal. Yes, both are not equal. If that is the case, you will get the output as true. So when you are going for comparison, you will be getting the output in the Boolean format. If you want to store the result of this comparison, obviously you have to declare a variable in Boolean format and you have to store that. Okay, so that's the thing you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so how you can be able to compare using double equal to. Suppose if you want to check whether the both values are not equal, you can go for not equal. Okay, so next, the same concept I'm going to try with integer. Let's compare string values. Let's see how the comparison happens. Let me go for string str1. I'm going to give like this. Okay, aj skill, I'm going to give full caps. Okay, let me compare the second thing quickly. Go for str2. Here I'm going for small letters, aj skill. Now you're going for system.debug. You're going for system.debug. How you will be comparing? As our previous experience says, we will be going for str1 double equal to, we will be going for str2. Let's compare these things. Okay, execute highlighter. So do you think that both are equal? What you will get? Any guesses? True or false? Any guesses?
True. True.
True.
It will give false.
Okay. Okay. It's nice to hear, different
True.
opinions. Let's go for debug only. Okay, we are getting true. Why, it may be give a confusion whether it will comes true or false, because this is the area where we will get confused. Skill, it's completely caps. Yeah, this is, completely small. But even though the W equal to, see here, the W equal to will compare these two values apart of, the cases. It will not consider the case. It will compare these two values. Okay, so that's why always it's better to check it out with, again I'm going for dot notation. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, just to compare the difference. Okay, so let me try to do the same thing using a string class function. We will see a lot of classes and methods in the upcoming classes. Okay, it's unavoidable to explain this here. So let me go for equals. There is a built-in function called equals. This equals is inside string class. Don't get confused with this at this particular line. We'll explain in future, more clear way. Okay, so don't get confused. So we have a built-in function called equals. Okay, the equals can be used for strings to compare one string with another string. Here I am going for str1 with str2. Okay, now let's select these 4 lines and let's go for execute highlighter. Okay, let's see how the outcome is. See here, the contradictory, things happened here. When you go for double equal to, it says that it's true. When you go for equals, it says that, it's false. So always it's better to go for equals when you are comparing, two strings. Okay, rather than going for double equal to. Sometimes, the user may, you are implementing this functionality in the password checking. Okay, user is given the password. Now you have to check the password with the database. Okay, so in most of the applications, if it is small in the sense password, you should type in small only. If you type it in caps, even though the same password, it will not accept, right? So in those kind of areas, if you go for equal to, in the sense to compare the two strings, you maybe get confused with the outcome, because it will not consider the cases. It's a case, not a case sensitive. Okay, so always to compare the strings, it's better to go for the built-in method with equals. Okay, so here it will not consider the case. Here it is, it will consider the case. Here also you can go for equals, ignore case. A lot of things are there. I don't want to mess it up with the dot notation here, because the beginners, don't know about the dot notation right now, as of now. So I'm stopping it here with this, equals part. Okay, so this is how you can able to compare two integers. This is how you can able to compare two strings. My, my personal opinion is it's better when go for, dot equals when you are going to compare two strings. Okay, now we are moving on to the next part, that is,
Sir,
yeah.
sorry, what do we call the dot equal? Is it a function here, like the second one?
It's a function. Okay, actually if you look at it, deeply look at it, there is a built-in class called string. Okay, there is a built-in class returned by Salesforce called string. Inside that class, they have a method called equals. Okay, just we are consuming that. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Instead of string, why I am using str1? Because str1 is a data type of string. So obviously, what all are the methods available with string, I can apply on str1 and str2. Okay. So we will see deep regarding this in the upcoming classes. So let's go for other operators, that is increment and decrement operators. Okay, this is called increment operators. Increment operators, you might have seen this double plus, that is called increment operator. So let me explain how you can able to deal with that. Let me go for an integer variable x. Integer x is equal to 500. Okay, now I am going to add. Actually the meaning is, which is similar to x is equal to x plus 1. It's just like you are going to increment the value of x by 1. That's what the meaning. So instead of writing x is equal to x plus 1, you can write x plus plus. Okay, the meaning is you are increment the value of x by 1. You are adding a value of 1 there. Okay, Now let's system.debug and check it out the output. So interesting, factors can be identified here. System.debug, you can go for, X. Let me highlight these lines and go for execute highlighter. Let's see the output. You are getting 501, right? So X plus plus, that is called increment operator, which is similar to X is equal to X plus 1. Any doubt in this? Because next thing you may get confused a little bit. So that's why you have to be clear with line number 45, 46, 47. Now, before I'm moving on to the
Yeah, I have
next
one
part.
doubt.
Yeah.
It
please.
will add only one or
Yes.
Okay.
It will add only one. If you want to add 5 in the
more?
sense, how you can go, X plus equal to 5. Okay.
Okay, we can add any numbers like
any numbers here. This is called arithmetic assign. Okay, everything will be available in the presentation which will be shared today. You can able to get that. Okay, so this is simply to add one value. Let's say you're going for a counter. Okay, you're implementing a counter mechanism or a logic, a counter logic. Okay, you have to increase your value one by one. Okay, if that is the case, you can go for simply X plus plus instead of X is equal to X plus 1. Okay, actually these things will not make much difference, but when looking at the code, it may give you a feel that someone has written the code, he has a little bit experience, that's it. Okay, so it's a perspective, it's giving a perspective like that, that's it. Okay, so as far as functionality wise, instead of giving X plus plus, you can go for X is equal to X plus 1 also, that is also fine. Okay, now the interesting factor, let me copy paste in the next line. It will be easy for you to compare. Now I'm directly going to apply X plus plus here. I'm going to directly apply X plus plus here. Now let me select these two lines, select all the lines, then you can able to easily compare. Let me go for execute highlighter. Duplicate field, yes, obviously it's a duplicate field. Let's go for Y and go for Y here. Let me select these things and go for execute highlighter. Let me go for debug only. See the difference. The output as line number 47 says it's 501. Okay. And the output as line number 50 says it's 500. We are using X plus plus and here it is Y plus plus. So it should be the same, right? But that will not be the case. So that's why increment operator, that's the way increment operator behaves. In line number 50, what happens is it contains two functionalities. You are trying to print a value, at the same time you are trying to increment a value. So two instructions are being given at line number 50: print a value and increment the value. Now which will get the precedence? That's what the deciding factor for line number 50. So what the compiler does is, it's an increment operator. This is called post increment. Technically speaking, this is called post increment. So what it does is, first the priority will goes to print the value. What is the value of 5? Oh, sorry, what is the value of Y? Y's value is 500. So 500 will be printed first in line number 50, and then only its value will be incremented. So how I can able to identify whether it is incremented or not? No problem. You can, next line, you can again go for a system.debug and just giving a while. Now let's select these three lines and execute, and let's see the difference. It will give a clear picture now. Okay, see here, line number 50 gives me the output as 500. Line number 51 gives me the output as 501. So obviously, it's clear that definitely Y value is getting incremented. Okay, but line number 50, the priority goes to printing the value. So that's why I'm getting 500 there. Okay, so after printing the 500, the program will not stop. It will increment the value. So that's why Y value is changed into 501. So in the next line, when you are going for printing the value, you will see the output. Okay, so when this will create a confusion, let's say you are going like this, your implementation is like this. Let's say Z is equal to, you are going for Y plus plus. Okay, here you will be in a confusion, because let me go like this. I'm going to print the value of Z here, and after that I'm going to print the value of Y. Now let me select these 4 lines and go for execute highlighter. Let's see. I haven't printed y value, I guess. Yeah. See, z value is 500, y value is 501. So these scenarios may happen when you go for a post increment. Okay. So initially the value will be assigned. Line number 50. Y value is assigned to Z. That is 500 is assigned to Z. I am getting 500 as an output. And after assigning, Y value will be incremented by 1 and it will be stored in Y itself. So that's why line number 52, I am getting 501 as an output. Okay. Let's play with this little bit. Let me go for plus plus Y here. Okay. Now I am going for execute highlighter. See here, now you are getting both the values same, 501, 501. So here the priority goes, increment the value first, then assign. Okay. So that is the difference between, pre-increment and post-increment. So as far as increment is concerned, you will be having pre and you will be having post increment. If you put the plus plus, after the variable, that is called post increment. If you put the plus plus, in front of the variable, that is called pre increment. From the word itself, you can able to easily identify pre increment in the sense initially it will increment and then assign. Post increment in the sense it will assign, then only it will increment. Okay. So if you don't know this concept clearly, if you are going with increment operators in the sense, the assignment may create trouble. So you have to be clear about these concepts. Any doubts here? Okay.
I have no.
Yes. Yes.
Y value should be 500, right?
Yes, Lokesh.
Okay, thank you. And Z values, I have, I understand that one
Okay. Okay.
pre-increment.
Fine. Fine.
And
Fine.
for system but debug, Y value should be 500.
Yes, actually the thing is, you can take it, split it into 2 ways. Increment operator, what it does, it will increase the value by 1. That is one concept. And another concept, where you are putting the increment value, front of the variable or after the variable. If you put the increment variable, before the variable, in the sense it will increment first, then only it will do the assignment and those things. If you put the increment operator, after the variable, it will assign and it will finish that task, and after that it will go for increment or decrement, whatever it may be. Okay. In the same way, you can go for decrement also. This is called decrement operators. This is called decrement operators. And while checking, when both variables are equal, you are going for double equal to, right? Similar way, you have triple equal to also. In triple equal to, if you know the class concepts, in the sense, we can explain that in the upcoming classes. Let's see, we will see, how to see the triple equal to. Triple equal to, you can apply for reference data types. You won't apply for the primitive data types. You will be going for reference data type. So to explain the triple equal to, you should know what is meant by reference data type. Then only we will go for it. Okay. So that's why I haven't explained triple equal to there. So this is how increment and decrement operators work. Now let's go for a logical operators. Okay. So we will be using plenty of logical things. Okay. When logical things, in the sense, let's say X value is greater than 500 or X value is less than 500. In the meantime, I want to, compare more than 2 values. Let's say in the screen, user has 3 checkboxes. Now, my business logic should be, I have to check whether the 3 checkboxes get selected or 2 checkboxes get selected. I want to implement this particular, my business concept into my Apex code. If that is the case, you should know how to use logical operators, how to use logical operators. So we are going for logical operators. So mathematical operators, that's completed. Arithmetic operators, assignment operators, increment, decrement. Now we are going for, logical operators. What all are the logical operators exist? Okay, simply you can go for double ampersand. This is called and. You can call it as and. Okay, and you can go for double pipeline. So this is called or. This is called or. You can consider this as or. And you have not. This is called not. Okay. So these many operators are available, and or and not. We will see one by one. Let me take two variables. X is equal to 5 as usual. Let me copy paste quickly and go for y is equal to 10. Y is equal to, let's say 8. Now my business logic says that you have to check whether both the values x and y are less than 500. So the requirement is check x and y, less than 10. So that's what the requirement. Now I need to find out whether both the values. So let's say there is a opportunity amount. I wanted to find out opportunity amount is in between two values. Okay, if that is the case, you can go for logical and operators. Now here the requirement is I need to check whether x and y both the values are less than 10. How you can able to do that? So I'm going for system.debug. There is a conditional statement is there. We will see the conditional statement in the next class. Today I'm not going for conditional statements. Straight away in system.debug we are going to apply this. I'm going to apply x is equal to 5, right? I want to check x less than 10 and okay, so this is what you have to capture. And when you're trying to say the things, you can able to easily find out the operator. What you have to check, x less than 5 and in the sense while implementation you will be going for ampersand. Okay, so this is a logical operator ampersand. And what you are going to check, y less than 10. So you are going to check whether x is less than 10 and y is less than 10. If both the conditions are satisfied, you will get true as an output, boolean as an output. If both the conditions failed, you will get false as an output. If any one of the condition fail, you will get false as an output. So the criteria is for using and is all the conditions should be satisfied. All the conditions should be satisfied. If that is the case, you will get true as an output. If any one of the condition failed, obviously you will end up with false. So let's select these lines and go for execute highlighted. Let us check the output. Okay, it is true. Why it is true? Because x value is 5, this is less than 10, so it's true. Y value it is 8, that is also less than 10, so I am getting true. So true and true, you will get obviously the true as an output. Let me change this value 8 into 8. Let's see. Now you compare x less than 10, yes, it's a true. Y less than 10, no, it's a false. So if it is a true false, so now you can able to see that both the conditions not satisfied. If that is the case, you will get false as an output. So let's select and go for execute highlighter. So logical and operators can be used when you want to compare more than one criteria, more than one condition. At that point of time, you can go for logical operator. See there, the output is false. Why it become false? Because the second condition, that is y less than 10, that fails. So that's why I'm getting false as an output. So this is how you can able to use logical operators. It is not to compare between two values. If you have one more value in the sense, again you can put ampersand and you can for let's say z in the sense, you can go for z less than 10. You can write n number of operators like this. Okay, so and will be used to compare whether all the conditions are satisfied or not. Okay, so that is the takeaway point from here. Now let's go for OR operator. Okay, now I'm going to copy this.
Nagarashan,
Yeah,
small
please.
question.
Yeah, please.
Here you said line number 56, check x and y less than 10, right?
Yes.
So can you in line number 59, can we add both x plus y less than 10? Can we check in that way as well?
No, x plus y in the sense it is not similar to the requirement. What the requirement is, you have to check x less than y and y less than 10. Okay, two different entities. If you merged x plus y in the sense, that is the outcome of x plus y. Okay, that is not the requirement, right?
Okay. So we can do in that way as well, right?
Yeah, if the requirement is like this, let's say I'm coming to your, if the requirement is check x plus y less than 10. If this is the requirement, you can go for x plus y less than 10. Okay.
Okay, same way. Okay.
Yeah. So, but the requirement is not like that. You have to individually check whether both the values are less than 10. So that's why you are going for this. Okay.
Okay.
So it is depends on the requirement. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we are going for OR operators. OR in the sense, what OR does is, if any one condition satisfied, you will get, the output as true. Any one condition true, you will get true as an output. You can say as any one condition true or any one condition satisfied, you will get the output as true. Let's say I'm going to check. Previously it was false, okay, because the second condition failed. Now I'm going to check x less than 10. Yes, x less than 10, true. Y less than 10, no. Y is greater than 10. But even though y is greater than 10, this condition failed. My first condition satisfied. So that's why I will get true as an output. So that is what the purpose of using OR. Okay, let's say there is a requirement again comes into the picture. In the user interface, in the UI, you have 3 checkboxes. If any one of the checkbox gets selected, your code need to be get executed. Okay, so you have to capture that requirement. If any one of the checkbox gets selected, if it means any one of the condition needs to be satisfied. If that is the case, you can go for OR operator there. Let me highlight these 3 lines and go for execute highlighted. Let's see how the outcome is. Okay, you were able to see, it is true. Even though second condition failed, it says the output as true, because the OR operator will consider any one operation gets satisfied, it will return true. If all the conditions failed, it will return false. Let's say if this is also 50. Okay, now x is less than 50, no. Y is less than 10, sorry, x is less than 10, no. Y is less than 10, no. Now if you execute this, your output will be false. See, your output will be false. Okay, so this is how you can apply OR operators. Okay, while implementing, we will not use system.debug. When writing Apex class, we will be using if conditions and those things. So those things we will see in the upcoming class, that is tomorrow's class. Okay, so today I'm going to deal with and OR, just understanding the concept of and OR for the beginners. That's it. Okay, so one more operator is there, not operator. Not operator, we will see tomorrow's class. Today I'm going for a ternary operator, because there is a to do is based on this ternary operator. So let me cover the ternary operator. Let me go for ternary operator. There is an operator called ternary operator. Okay, so this is also an interesting operator. Let's see. Integer x is equal to 500. What the ternary operator does is, the ternary operator syntax is, inside a bracket you can apply the condition. What is mean by condition? Let's say x less than 10. This is a condition. Okay, it will check the condition. If the condition is satisfied, then you have to apply question mark. You have to apply question mark. If the condition is satisfied, what the value you want to return, return value, what do you want to return, you can specify. If the condition failed, what do you want to do? Okay, I want to return a separate value. You can specify it here. This is a simple ternary operator. Okay, now I'm going to implement it. Let's say I'm going to compare x. Okay, x is equal to 500. I'm going to check x is equal to 500. Okay, I'm going to check. If this is true, I'm going to return, okay, it's 500. Okay, if the condition fail, I want to return it's not equal to 500. Okay, so this is the condition you are going to check. If the condition satisfied, what do you want to return? You have to specify it after question mark. So if the condition fail, if you want to return something, in the sense, you can specify after the colon. It need not to be a string. It can be an integer variable. It can be a decimal, whatever it may be, you can able to return. So obviously it is going to return a value, right? It is going to return a string value. To store that, I'm going to declare a variable called str. So string str is equal to this expression will get executed, and in a single point of time, either it's 500 may be stored in str, or it's not equal to 500 may be stored into str. Now to get the output, I'm going for system.debug. System.debug. I'm going to print str here. Okay, str. Let's see the output, what the output is. See, you are getting the output, it's 500. Why? X value is 500. So this condition gets satisfied. If the condition gets satisfied, you will get the statement which is after the question mark, you will get that as an output. Let me change it into 400. Let me change it into 400 and go for execute highlighter.
Sir, I didn't understand. What is this doing? It is comparing the values?
Yes, it's comparing the value. Actually, what it does is it's comparing X value is equal to 500. Okay, see the output, it is not equal to 500. What happens is it is comparing whether X is equal to 500. No, X is 400, right? So it will automatically identify the colon and it will return the expression which is after the colon. Okay, what is the expression after the colon? It is not equal to 500. So it will return it. If it is 500 in the sense, it will return the value right away after the question mark. Okay, so this is a way of, instead of writing an if condition in a single statement, okay, for a if there is a single statement needs to be get executed, in the sense this is a shortcut people will go for the ternary operator. Okay, so again, this is what very important, the syntax. You are going to check a condition. This is the condition. It may be equal to, it may be less than, it may be greater than, whatever it may be. And after that, what you are going to return? You are going to return a value, in the sense it's a true part. After colon, you will be returning a false part. Let's say there may be a scenario. Okay, I'm going to return it's 500. And after that, I want to compare one more value, in the sense you can go in this way. Okay, initially you apply this in the anonymous window and try. Okay, I'm not going to confuse you. You can try like this. Okay, in the false part, if it is not equal to 500, I want to compare with different values. Again, you go for one more ternary operator. Okay, X. Okay, X is greater than 600. If it is true, question mark, the expression. If it is false, let's say I'm giving some character. I'm going for false, something like this. X, Y, Z. Let's say ABC. Let me explain this part. Let's say the first, this condition is checking X is equal to 500. If it is true, it will return it's 500. If this criteria failed, it will go for the false part, that is after the colon. After the colon, there is no a single statement. Again, one more expression. I'm going to checking one more expression. So if it is an expression, again, you can go for colon. If this condition is satisfied, it will go for, this ABC. If this condition fail, it will go for XYZ. In this way, you can, link so many conditions in a single line. Okay. This is what ternary operator is all about. Any doubts here?
Like,
is it confusing?
Else if, right?
Yes, obviously. So before going into conditional statement, I want to touch this part. That's it. Instead of writing, people who already knows, if, else if, this is similar to that. Okay. Instead of writing a single statement for if, you can straight away go for, ternary operators. It looks beautiful when you return it in a single line, instead of going for curly braces and again, if, else if, like that, you can go like this. Is it confusing? Or it's clear?
How many conditions can you check for this tertiary operator?
Yeah, currently I can say it's an n number of operators, but it is, it is a researchable thing.
Okay.
So the takeaway point here is, instead of using if, else if, you can simply use a ternary operator there. Okay. So the point you have to keep it in mind, you cannot do system.debug inside here. It should return a value. It should be an expression. It should be a value. Okay. So this is the expression. If the expression gets satisfied, the true part should be returned. Otherwise, the false part should be returned. Okay. In the false part, you can check one more, ternary operator, one more condition you can check. For each and every condition, you will be having a question and a colon part. Question is the true part, colon is the false part. You can say question is your true part. You can consider like question is your true part and colon is the false part. Okay. So you can consider like this. So today's I'm going to wind up here. So let me quickly go for. So everything will be specified here, and let me quickly explain. So I think today's to do is missed here. Let me. So this is the today's do it yourself using ternary operator. Okay. Let me explain it quickly. You need to declare 3 variables. Okay. You need to declare 3 variables. Obviously, the variables are used to store mark of a student. Let's say mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. You can declare 3 variables. You have to find whether a student is pass or fail using ternary operator. Okay. Pass in the sense if the student got more than 50 in 3 subjects, you can consider it as a pass. Okay, it is up to your logic. Okay, you have to find the result and you have to print the result, and you can split it into 2 ways. This is first part. The second part, you have to find a grade for the student. You have to find a grade for the student and print. How you will find the grade? Let's say it may be any logic. As per this slide is concerned, you are going to find the average. That is, you are going to add 3 marks, and 3 marks is out of 100. So you are going to divide it by 300 and you are multiplying it the result by 100. You will get an average. Okay. So now you have to find out the grade, but the grade should be, it should be pass, and average should be greater than 9 in the sense it says grade. The student is passed and the average is greater than it is A in that way. If the student is failed, obviously you should get output as no grade. Okay, you have to implement this using ternary operator, no if conditions.
Nagarajan, one quick question, like
Yes.
to get the output, we are using system.debug, right? So
Yes.
how to get the input from the user?
No,
Do you
as
have
of now, in the anonymous window, you won't have any concept to get the input. Okay. In the anonymous window, there is no, there is no concept called, in programming like, C++, you will be using, printf, or you will be using C in, right? So those kinds of statements will not be available with, anonymous window. How you will implement this Apex code? That's what I'm telling. This is not the real-time implementation. You will not implement all the code in the anonymous window because user does not aware of your anonymous window. User will not come into your anonymous window and open your code and they will write. They will simply click a button. They will input some value in the input box. They will select a drop-down box. So user's life will be mostly with clicking a button. Okay. When they click a button, automatically your code will get executed. So obviously this is not your endpoint. You will be creating a class and you will be writing your implementation. Okay. To understand the concepts, we are going for anonymous window. In real-time implementation, the input will be through a text box or through a drop-down. It will be from the user interface. So that is what the input.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, fine. So I think you can go for this.
Okay, hi everyone. We have uploaded this slide in our drive. If anybody don't have access for the drive, you please reach me in my mobile. And you can start work on this assignment, and the trainer will be available for another 15 minutes. By 8:30, we'll be having a short break, 8:30 to 9. After 9, I will be sharing a Q&A session links. Okay, in that link, you can join, you can do live practice. And if you want to get a clarification on any of the concept explained, or if you have any other doubts apart from today's session, any other doubts and any other use cases and case studies, you are welcome to ask. So next 15 minutes, the trainer will be available. 8:30 to 9:39, we'll be having a short break. Thank you.
Hi Nagaraj, one quick question for you.
Yeah, please.
So the whole Apex code is it's not a case sensitive, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's not a case sensitive.
It's not a case sensitive.
Okay, whole Apex code is completely, it's a case sensitive. There is no way, something is case sensitive, something is not case sensitive. It's nothing like that, right?
it's not like that, but some best practices will be followed, right? So let's say if you're going to write a class, in the sense you will be start with the caps letter, right? So as you see in the first liner, do it yourself in your screen, right? Do is in caps letter. So those are the best practices. As for the best practices, it will be followed.
Oh, okay, got it. And other question.
Yes.
Every time. So, is there any option to, get only the debug only messages all the times whenever I run the code? Every time we're just clicking the debug only option, right? Is there any default option?
Actually,
Always?
actually, this debug and similar to system.debug, you have system.assert. A couple of things are there. Actually, this is only for developer perspective. This is only helpful for developer. It will not help in any case for the end user or your customer. Okay, the system.debug, if you have the system.debug in your Apex code, the user will not see that. Okay, so this is only related to, because you will see this output in the logs. The logs, who will see the logs? The developer will see the logs. So system.debug generally used in Apex code to identify the intermediate result. You may have some you are not sure what might be the output here. At that point of time,
My
you will be going
question
for
is,
system.debug.
I understand the objective of this debug purpose. Just to troubleshooting purpose, you can go for this, wherever you can print the statements. My question is, so whenever you run this code, you have to click the debug only. Then only you can see that. I mean, you can see the complete log. I don't want the complete log. I just want to see only the debug only.
That's why you're going for that option, debug only.
Correct. Every time we are just clicking that option.
Yes, yes. It will be cleared.
Right. So is there any by default option? Only I just want debug only. I don't want the other complete log. So whenever you run the code,
because every time you will be see a new execution log happen in your screen, right? It's not the old log. If it is going to print in the same log, in the sense, it's okay. The checkbox will be get selected. Okay, so every time when you're going for execute, it will open a new window. Okay,
correct. So new window, we need to click that.
You have to go for debug only. Yes,
correct.
But
so
here you can go for open log. If you click the open log, there is no need to double click. If this checkbox is not selected, every time you have to do one more operation, you have to double click this log, and then only the debug log will open in your screen. So that's why here we have marked this option as selected, open log.
Okay.
Sir, and the ternary operator, you have string str equal x equal 500. Can you have x greater than, or it's always equal?
Yes, yes. Any operation you can apply there. It may be equal to, it may be less than, it may be greater than, it may be not equal to. So any operators, logical things you can apply there. You can apply and also inside that. Let's say you can compare like this: x is equal to 500 and x is equal to 600. It may not be sense, but still you can able to do like this. Okay, logical operators also you can apply. Yes, please.
Now on the y++, x++ means the operators which we are using pre and post plus use பண்றோம். அதோட யூசேஜ் மீன்ஸ்
பிளஸ் பிளஸ் வந்து எதுக்காக யூஸ் பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா, வேல்யூ வந்து 1 இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் பண்றதுக்காக. இப்போ 50 இருக்குன்னு வைங்களேன், நீங்க பிளஸ் பிளஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா அந்த வேல்யூ வந்து 51 மாறும். பட் அந்த
முன்னாடி பின்னாடி யூஸ் பண்றோம்.
அது ஃப்ரண்ட்ல போட்டீங்கன்னா அதுக்கு பேரு ப்ரீ இன்க்ரிமெண்ட். அது என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா, ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வேல்யூவை மாத்திட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் அசைன்மெண்ட்டோ பிரிண்டிங்கோ பண்ணும். ஓகேவா?
எங்க யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லி மீன்ஸ் அது நீங்க சொன்னீங்க, அதை எழுதிட்டேன். இப்போ எந்த மாதிரி சினாரியோஸ்ல அதை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம்?
இப்போ எந்த மாதிரி சினாரியோ அப்படிங்கறத விட, நீங்க இந்த கான்செப்ட் தெரிஞ்சு இதை கரெக்டா அப்ளை பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கறதுக்காக தான் அதை நான் யூஸ் பண்ணேன். ஓகேவா? சோ சினாரியோ வந்து இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஓல்டு வேல்யூ எனக்கு ஒரு இடத்துல ஸ்டோர் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கணும் அப்படின்னா நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம், வேரியபிளுக்கு அப்புறம் பிளஸ் பிளஸ் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். அப்போ ப்ரீவியஸ் என்ன வேல்யூ இருந்துச்சோ அது உங்களுக்கு ஒரு இடத்துல ஸ்டோர் ஆயிருக்கும் இல்லையா? சோ அந்த மாதிரி இடங்கள்ல நீங்க போஸ்ட் இன்க்ரிமெண்ட் யூஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
ஹலோ நாகராஜன்.
எஸ் ப்ளீஸ்.
இங்க எனக்கு என்ன டவுட்னா, இப்ப நம்ம இன்டிஜர் டிக்ளேர் பண்றோம் இல்லைங்களா?
ஆமா.
சோ இந்த இன்டிஜர்ல வந்து நம்ம ஒரு முறையும் இன்டிஜர் மார்க் 1, இன்டிஜர் மார்க் 2 அப்படிதான் கொடுக்கணுமா, இல்ல கமா போட்டு நம்ம
கமா போட்டு நீங்க கொடுக்கலாமா?
ஓகே ஓகே ஃபைன்.
இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இப்போ உங்களுக்கு மைண்ட்ல தோணுது இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய விஷயங்கள் இதெல்லாம் உங்களோட லேர்னிங் பாயிண்ட்ஸ். இதை நீங்க வந்து இமிடியேட்டாவே உங்க அனானிமஸ் விண்டோல நீங்க போட்டு நீங்க ட்ரை பண்ணலாம். இட் வில் கிவ் யூ யூனோ வெரி குட் லேர்னிங் ஃபார் யூ.
ஓகே, thank you.
Thanks.
And section 4.2, do we need to do if else here, or no, we need to use also ternary operator?
You have to make use of ternary operator as possible. Yes, you can make use of ternary there because it's a series of condition checking, right?
Yeah.
So it will give more clarity on ternary operator when you go for, you know, like point number 4.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, and the program 29th code கொஞ்சம் explain பண்ணுங்க sir.
Sure. இதுவா?
Yes sir.
இதுல என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா, இப்போ எக்ஸ்ல வந்து வேல்யூ என்ன இருக்கு, 10 இருக்கு இல்லையா? ஸோ எனக்கு இந்த 10 கூட 5 ஆட் பண்ணணும். அப்போ இந்த லைன் பார்த்துக்குங்க, எக்ஸ் கூட 5 ஆட் பண்ணா என்ன எழுதுவோம்? எக்ஸ் இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு எக்ஸ் பிளஸ் 5. அப்போ என்ன ஆகும்? எக்ஸ்ல 10 இருக்கு, 10 பிளஸ் 5 15. 15 போய் எங்க ஸ்டோர் ஆகும்? எக்ஸ்ல போய் ஸ்டோர் ஆகும் இல்லையா? இப்படி எழுதுறத ஷார்ட்டா எழுதுறது தான் இது. ரெண்டுமே மீனிங் ஒன்று தான். ஓகேவா? ரெண்டுமே அவுட்புட் ஒரே மாதிரி தான் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணும். பட் இது வந்து இன்னும் ஷார்ட்டா எழுதுறீங்க. எக்ஸ் பிளஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு 5னா என்ன மீனிங்? எக்ஸ் கூட 5 ஆட் பண்ணிட்டு இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் எக்ஸிக்யூட் ஆகும். எக்ஸ் கூட 5 ஆட் பண்ணிட்டு அடுத்து அந்த ரிசல்ட்டை எதுல அசைன் பண்ணும்? எக்ஸ்லயே அசைன் பண்ணிடும். அதான் அதோட மீனிங். ரெண்டுமே அவுட்புட் உங்களுக்கு ஒரே அவுட்புட் தான் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணும். இது வந்து ஷார்ட் ஹேண்ட் அரித்மெட்டிக் அசைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ரெண்டு ஆப்ரேஷன் நடக்குது. ஒன்னு அரித்மெட்டிக் ஆப்ரேஷன், அடுத்து அசைன் ஆப்ரேஷன். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நடக்கிறது அரித்மெட்டிக், ரெண்டாவது நடக்கிறது அசைன்.
ஓகே சார்.
Sir, in the arithmetic operations plus plus, why it is showing 501 and 500 later?
Yeah, that's what the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. Okay, so there are two types of scenarios. One is called pre-increment and another one is post-increment. If you put a plus plus after the variable, that is called post-increment. Post-increment in the sense, first it will try to assign the value and then only it will try to increment. If you used a plus plus in front of the variable, first priority goes to increment the value, then only it will go to assign. So that's why you are getting that difference.
So in post increment, 500 will display first, right?
Yes, yes. First it will assign, it will display, and then only it will increment.
Okay. In pre-increment, it will increase first, thereafter we'll get 500 later.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sir, any one scenario where we will use pre-increment and post-increment in real time?
That's
Just
what
one.
you know. That's what I already explained someone in native language. Actually, the thing is, you know, before doing some mathematical operation, before increment the value, you want to store the old value in some area. If that is the case, you will be going for, you know, post increment. Okay, there is no scenario like that. In the sense, you will be going for pre-increment. It's pretty simple. Before increment the variable, you want to store the value somewhere. In the sense, you will be going for, you know, post increment.
Nagarajan.
Yes.
The do it yourself second find result for மூணுதையும் செக் பண்ணுமா இல்ல தனித்தனியா செக் பண்றதுக்கு?
அதுல என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கோம் செகண்ட் பாயிண்ட்னா ரிசல்ட் கண்டுபிடிக்கணும் இல்லையா? சோ ரிசல்ட் பாஸ் ஆர் ஃபெயில். பாஸ் ஆர் ஃபெயில்னா மூணு சப்ஜெக்ட்டுமே வந்து பாஸ் ஆர் ஃபெயிலான்னு செக் பண்றோம்.
either ஒன்ல ஃபெயில்னால
ஃபெயில் தான் கண்டிப்பா கண்டிப்பா.
All right, seems nobody have any queries. Let's wind up here. If you are interested to learn Salesforce, visit AJ Skill Development website. There you can find our course curriculum and you can come to know about the list of courses we are offering. We are offering Salesforce Administrator and Salesforce Development courses. To know about us and the team, you can visit our About Us section. This is an organization we are doing Salesforce training from 2018, and we have trained and guided 2000 plus candidates so far. And if you also want to know about our placement assistants, visit our placement assistance section where you can find the list of people and the category. You can see the list of people who got trained and placed from our side. You can also visit their LinkedIn pages to get to know about our training and also the feedback from the relevant trainees. Okay. And also, if you want to do the course inquiry, click on contact us. You will see the form. You can fill the form and submit the inquiry. Our team will get back to us. Thank you.